Last question. A potential fight is gaining a lot of buzz. It's the Style Bender versus Jon Jones.
So, Jon Jones is interesting to me, and I think a big part of Jon Jones' success people don't speak about as much. And I'm gonna avert to boxing just for a second. You look at a person like Tyson Fury, right? Out of all the skills in the world he has, one of the things you cannot account for is height. It's just hard to get a guy that's that tall and be able to work a game plan efficiently against him that can move like that. When you come back over to Jon Jones, within that weight class, we've seen his height matched really only once against Gustafsson, which the first time they fought, there was obvious problems. And I'm explaining why the height is a big advantage, and especially with Jon Jones' style, and they've done a good job catering to it. With Gustafsson, we saw, of course, the second time, Gustafsson was, his best performance up until that point was against Glover Teixeira, so Gustafsson was all the way out. The second fight didn't even mean anything. I don't think anyone thought that Jon was going to win, but I think the problem with Jon that people don't pay attention to is the clinch. No matter how good you are in the clinch, and Adesanya's good in the clinch. He has a Muay Thai background. He has shown in MMA that his wrestling clinch is very good as well. But when you are a taller man in a clinch, you inherently have an advantage. If we look to dig underhooks and overhooks, his head's above mine, so he can lean on me, and he has a lot more leverage to both stop me from being able to torque him and turn him, which you saw with Daniel Cormier, which if Daniel Cormier was able to torque and turn Stipe Miocic, and he couldn't torque and turn Jon Jones, and we can all pretty much agree it wasn't a strength factor, because Stipe's he's about as strong as a guy gets. Then you would start to understand it's the height thing. On top of that, he's very good himself in the clinch. When it comes to the Muay Thai expression of the clinch, even more so, the tall man wins. Obviously, if we both start to lock up, my knees can reach your head, your knees can't reach my head, my elbows can reach your head, it's very hard for your elbows to reach my head. And when you see Jon Jones press guys in that clinch, you see them immediately start to deplete and they don't have an answer for it. Is Adesanya good enough to beat Jon Jones in a kickboxing match? I believe absolutely. If it was a straight kickboxing match, I feel like Jon Jones would do decently. I'm not saying that he would get destroyed, but I feel like Adesanya would do enough to be able to edge a decision out. But in an MMA fight, he's too tall for Adesanya to stop the clinch, defend the clinch, and be able to effectively strike afterwards. On top of that, Jon Jones is a good enough striker that if you were worried about anything outside of striking, he's going to exploit it. So it's hard for me to say that Adesanya really has any chance. Does he have a lot of skills? Yes. Will he do good at 205? Yes. But Jon Jones just has a bunch of problems that once you solve one, the other ones present themselves.
It's hard for me to gauge Jon Jones properly because of the allegations and the failed test. I don't know what exactly I'm getting.
Yeah. That's there too. But if we have to go off what we see in history, because again, we can say that it's hard to gauge him. It's hard to, for all intents and purposes, gauge Adesanya. He's never fought at 205. He's never fought at 205 in MMA, and he's never fought someone as tall as Jon Jones in MMA. He's never fought someone as good as Jon Jones in MMA. If we look at resumes, they're not even comparable. So in terms of just skill set, it's hard to say. Adesanya's look good, but his best, most credited fight was against Kelvin Gastelum, who is, by all intents and purposes, a great fighter, top of the heap, but nowhere near a Hall of Famer in the running right now. So, and Jon Jones has beaten damn near 3 generations of fighters. So it's hard for me to say, just off skill. We can say we don't know what Jon Jones is going to come up, but I can say that about every fighter. So it's hard for me to do anything like that. If I'm always going to be a breakdown. If I had to put my son's life on it, I'm going to go with Jon. Got to go with Jon.